Hello and welcome to the Discover Virginia Beach podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Trahan, your tour guide to the Virginia Beach area. If this is your first time listening, I am so glad you found this show. Each week, I publish a new interview with locals ranging from musicians, government officials, CEOs, artists, and much more. And my aim is simple. It's to help you discover, define, and then go out and do exactly what you're looking for during your next vacation, relocation, or outing to the Virginia Beach area. And if you're looking to join in on the conversation, take part in monthly giveaways, and get your hands on my custom event calendars, head on over to Facebook and send me a friend request. That's Joseph Trahan. And check out my Facebook group of nearly 50,000 fans of the Virginia Beach area. Don't worry about writing anything down. The links for each episode, along with the Facebook groups, will be in the description below and also in the show notes. All right, here's the show. Welcome back, everyone. I'm thrilled to introduce you all today to local musician, producer, DJ, and quite literally the life of the party, Justice Jenkins, also known as the dynamic force behind the Just Add Water project. From mesmerizing audiences with the deepest bass lines, spreading love through music and community outreach, Justice has made a significant impact on the stage and off the stage. And we are so excited to dive in his world. Justice, welcome to the podcast.
What's going on, man? Thank you so much for having me, Joe. I really appreciate it, man.
It's been so excited.
Yeah, it's been a big mission of mine, moving back to the city is just, connecting back with the community and, getting involved. So I really appreciate you, giving me a platform to do that.
Wonderful. And fun fact for our listeners who don't know, Justice actually plays 8 different instruments and is an avid surfer, always out to catch any wave life throws at him. Justice,
yes,
ready?
You see the boards in the back.
So, Justice, you've had an incredible journey from Bridgeport, Connecticut to the beaches of Virginia Beach. How do these diverse environments shape your passion for music and the water?
Man, I mean, I always wonder like what my life would have been like if I had stayed in Virginia or in Connecticut with my parents. But, we actually moved down here and on 9/11/2001, bro, we were literally on the way to Virginia Beach. We got stuck in New York because the towers got hit. And that's like something that's like totally burned in my memory from, it was a crazy thing. But, it was wild, man. I just remember sitting there like I was 4 years old. So it was like, when you're 4, you're like, okay, you kind of get what's going on, but you really don't. But I knew my parents were like freaking out. So it was like one of those things where I was like, I don't know. It was a crazy thing and just like a wild piece of the story. But, I loved living in Virginia Beach, man. It's been such a blessing, honestly, just living minutes from the beach my entire life. I'm a oceanfront kid. I went to First Colonial High School. I graduated in 2015. But yeah, man, I just, was always naturally like pulled towards the beach with everything, get out of school, go surf, even if there wasn't waves, just go to the beach, get in the water. Water's always been my stress reliever, my safe space. My parents had me in swim lessons when I was like 3 years old. So it's nothing new to me. And it's definitely, paved the way for what my brand is today. And, just very blessed. That's all I can say.
Absolutely. Well, Justice, I really appreciate you sharing that and definitely, holding on to that theme of those constants throughout our life, regardless of where we're at. Specifically, always just seems to be those things that pop up and really help us remind us of where we come from. So First Colonial High School, correct?
Yes, sir.
Virginia Beach, one of the best cities in Virginia for all different things to do. And you decide to join choir and band and surf and pick up 8 different instruments.
Orchestra, drama, did all of it, man. Did all of it. And everything that I'd done, I just feel like is, prepared me for what I'm doing now. It all is a piece of the puzzle. So
do you think there's a certain instrument or theater class that helped give you an edge over other producers and DJs within the space?
I don't know, man. I feel like the biggest influence was definitely drumline. I was playing drums since I was like 10 years old. I was in a couple bands, just like fun stuff. We did like like school talent shows and stuff, but there's some pictures of that stuff that's just like iconic, you know. So it's
Yeah.
like definitely a huge piece of the puzzle. I was in drumline and a marching band in high school. Shout out to the Marching Patriots, man. That was definitely the stuff that laid the foundations for everything, you know, making beats and stuff. Now I don't play too many instruments nowadays. I'm mostly on the computer, but you know, all that stuff had transferred over, you know, music theory classes, all of that. So, you know, a lot of these guys will try to get into the game with none of that, and it's totally cool. You know, if you have the ear for it, you have the ear. But you know, I definitely am grateful for all of the experiences and stuff I learned throughout the years, for sure.
Absolutely, especially considering, you know, the bass, the beat is the constant throughout the narrative of the music that really brings everything together.
Of course, it's
Uh,
all about the drums, baby.
Shout out to the Marching Patriots.
Yes,
Love
sir.
that.
Brian Willis, man, the best band director in the world.
Ryan Willis, you said?
Brian Willis. Yeah, he
Brian
just
Willis.
passed away a couple years ago, man. This fucking legend, man. Oh, I'm sorry for cussing, by the way. I don't know.
Oh,
if
you're
that's
good.
allowed.
However you talk is how we speak here.
I
You're
feel
all
that.
good.
I try to be, you know, I try to be authentically myself, but we'll see how it
Yeah,
goes.
don't hold back at all, Justice. We appreciate you being here. So I know you've mentioned your love for surfing, and you also have this collection of gaming, trading cards, and collectibles.
Oh man, I knew you were gonna get
Can you
into
share
that.
a favorite memory or experience you had
So
related
like
to these hobbies?
I'm super new in the like collectible space. You know, I grew up kind of, you know, lower middle class, so I really never had money for stuff like this. So now that I kind of have some money and some traction, I've just been, you know, collecting the things that I love. You can see kind of behind me, I'm a big Star Wars fan, Mortal Kombat, like all that stuff, Justice League, like that's my shit, you know. So it's like cool to own some like pieces of history, you know. Also Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, I've been getting back into that. I was into that as a child, and like bro, like I've been thinking about it lately. It's like, you know, there's some cards that I had back in the day, like when I was a kid, like 2000s, 2005, kind of like Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh cards that would be worth thousands of dollars now. And I know I had like multiple of them as a kid.
I should not have played with them as toys or torn them up
Literally,
or
or
folded
at
them in
least
the
kept
washer.
them. Like, even if they were in some sort of good condition, they'd be worth money. But I have no clue where all that stuff ended up, man.
Yeah, well, that is super exciting. Do you have a favorite hero or character that stands out to you?
Batman. Let's
Batman
go.
all day.
Yeah. Justice.
And I know now there are multiple Batman. Do you have a preference, or is it just the general theme?
Just
of
the
Batman
general
as a whole?
theme, man. Like there's been a lot of cool guys that have played him, you know, but I'm just a fan of the character, man. You know, it's just one of those things where, you know, he stands for nothing but, you know, showing the community love and protecting the people, you know.
Absolutely, and I appreciate you mentioning that, because that actually leads into our next question here, Justice. So, you know, Bruce Wayne needed the Opera House. You know, Clark Kent needed Smallville, and Spider-Man, you know, had to grow up. You know, when Uncle Ben left the scene, right? Can
Yeah.
you talk us through the moment or point in your life that you noticed there was a turning point, there was a shift, there was a Batman moment that led you to where you are now?
I don't know, man. Like I've always felt, you know, my mom always said I was a natural leader. You know, I didn't think of it as anything. I was just, like I said, I was just trying to always be authentically myself. But, you know, I always found myself, you know, trying to make the people around me better, and, you know, just spreading love, man. And, you know, this thing about humanity is like, we're all in this together, you know, like gatekeeping stuff, like not wanting other people to win, man. Like it's just not what life's about, you know. Like we're all in this together, and collaboration is key, you know. I try to lift
Yeah.
everybody up around me, because I know, like, the thing is, like, so many people think like if you lift someone up, like it's gonna harm or affect you in a negative way, and it's just not that, you know. You got to clap for your friends, you got to like be happy for people that are doing cool stuff, you know, because it's not all about you all the time, you know. It's about, you know, enriching your environment, and just, you know, wanting everybody to win. This life's too short, man. You know, we need everybody to put their best foot forward, and, you know, if I can help them do that, I'm gonna do that, you know. So it's just one of those things where, you know, it's all about trying to be the best person you can be, and just spread as much love as possible, man.
No, absolutely. That's a great message to have. And I know that's really the philosophy of your you know, production and DJ services that you offer, and the music that you create is this message of drink water, and spread love. It resonates deeply with your audience. How do you think this philosophy came out? And I know you said your mom kind of instilled this to you at an early age, but I'm curious how that looks day in and day out throughout the shows and the collaborations that go into, quite frankly, the really hard work of creating something that has never been made before.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's really just one of those things where like I kind of just go with the flow nowadays. I don't try to force anything. Life throws a lot of stuff at you. The goods are good, the bads are still good. It's like I feel like everything happens for a reason. I feel like that's a cliche kind of thing, but it's really true. Like everything happens for a reason. The good, the bad. It's not punishment if it's bad. It's a test to see what you're capable of. And I feel like some people thrive the most in the darkest days. Like especially for me, like I've lost both my parents now. I lost my mom last year, my dad when I was 18. So it was just one of those things where, I'm just eternally grateful for, everything they've did for me. They instilled all the values that, I pretty much hold to this day. So I don't know if that's relevant to the question, but that's kind of where my mind went.
That's great.
So.
That's great. And it's important to remember those before us and the messages that they taught to us to, if you will, drink more water and spread some more love.
Water the grass, man. That's what it's all about.
I love it. So when it comes to the musical process in general, I've always been fascinated with how DJs come up with, a simple click of a pen or, a rhythmic charm of a bass line. What is your secret sauce or kind of process to discovering those untold beats that you create day in and day out?
I wouldn't say there's a secret, it's just like, it's going back to it in my Instagram bio. It's 1 in 8 billion, man. It's like you are you, and you being you is what makes you special, man. And like, that's the beautiful thing about music, because there's no right or wrong. There's no black and white in music. It's all perspective. Right. So, my main thing is just, to instill some kind of journey, some kind of message. I like I said, I love sampling old records. That's somewhere where I really got my sound from, and a lot of legendary producers in the game that I've studied for a long time. So just picked up things here and there, and then other than that, man, just kind of try to portray what I'm feeling, through the music. It's different every single time I sit down to make music. There's no real like formula that I have. Well, there's a formula, but it's subjective. You know what I mean? So.
No, I appreciate you sharing that, and definitely music speaks to its own listener. But in a lot of ways, there's a lot of bad music out there. Would you agree with that statement? Would you say there's bad music or bad
like I
beats?
said, it's all perspective, man. And everybody's
Okay.
entitled to their opinion, and some person might say it's trash and the other person might say it's one of the best songs ever recorded. So it's like, it's one of those things where art is music is art. It's the universal language. Everybody can understand it, whether it's in a different language or not. You're feeling the groove, you're feeling the rhythm, you're feeling the vibes. So that's one thing I always say. Literally, music is the universal language. It's consumed literally all around the world, whether it's through streaming platforms, live performances, whatever. Places that don't even have the internet literally have music. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's just something so great that so many people can resonate with and understand. And that's the important goal with music. You want people to resonate with it. You want people to relate to it. You want them to be able to, you want to hit that tickle in the back of their brain, whether it's nostalgia, whether it's all those different things. It's just music. I just think music is literally one of the most beautiful things in the world. That's basically where I'm at with it.
Wow, what a refreshing take on music and all of the impacts that it has for the listener and also the people making the music, whether or not it's objectively good or bad. It's very subjective to the listener, to the experience. Do you have a particular memory or experience or perhaps a performance that stands out in your career as being one of those moments where you most connected with the audience?
As far as like my performances or like things that I've seen, like
For
gone
your
to.
specific performances.
That's tough, man, because I've played so many different shows. Like I've played big shows for thousands and thousands of people. I've played shows for 5 people in a warehouse, when I first started. And like every time is just as special as the last, man. And I say like all the time, whether I'm performing for 5 people or 5,000 people or 500,000 people, whatever it is, like it's going to be the same show. I try to give the same passion and intensity with everything that I do, and it's because I just really love this shit, man. Like I literally love it. Like it keeps me going, like when the lows are lows, I can get to perform, everything goes away, man. I swear. It's just one of those things where I just soak in every single moment, and I'm so grateful. And I remember to tell the crowd every single show, like, I'm just so grateful you're here. Thank you for letting me do what I love, literally, because at the end of the day, it wouldn't be possible without the fans, without the consumers, But some really like standout moments for me. Oh man, this is hard. This is so hard. Um, Probably my first time playing Moonrise Festival in Baltimore. That was a really special one for me because that was, the biggest stage I'd ever played on. Moonrise was like one of my first festivals ever. I don't know if you're familiar. It's a music festival that was in Baltimore, Maryland. They just actually announced that it's not happening this year for the first time in I think 8 years. So definitely a hard hit to the heart right there. But
Wow.
that was definitely a
tough.
special one for me.
That's
Man.
that's the EDM music festival, right?
Yep. So, all types of electronic music, from house music to bass music to everything in between. So, and that was kind of where I got my start. I worked for Steve's Promo, the company that throws the festival with Club Glow. They're the biggest electronic music promoters on the East Coast. And it was just really cool to get a shot, man. And I still have fans like, that said they were at that first set, like message me all the time. Like, it's so cool to see like where you've gone since then. And, that's the stuff that like, it just tugs in my heart, man. It just makes it all worth it. It's very special for me.
Absolutely. What a refreshing take on music and Justice. We appreciate all that you're doing here. And so do your fans. And speaking of fans, I'd love to maybe leave a little teaser here in the conversation. Any upcoming projects or shows that might not be yet well known and maybe on the horizon that you could share?
So I'm taking a little bit of time off shows. I was on tour pretty much the first half of last year. So, I'm taking a little bit of time to just focus on the music. I've got an album on the way. It's a hip hop album. Super excited about this one. It's just one of those projects that like fell into place, like after my mom passed away last June, I kind of, took some time off from shows. I played a show in Denver the night that I found out. Flew back home, kind of took a bunch of time off, and then I went on a little international kind of trip for a little while, a couple months, and now the album's called Around the World in 80 Days. So I went to a bunch of places. I went to Egypt, Budapest, Croatia, Cyprus, Tokyo, and London, and just found a bunch of creatives along the way and made some cool songs with people around the world. And the album was born, man. It was one of those things, like I said, where it was just, the universe providing a path, and you got to look for those signs, man. Like I said, that was my mom passing obviously is going to go down as probably the toughest thing I'll ever have to endure in life. But, what came out of it is, what she always wanted for me. And, I'm very excited to share this music with everybody, man.
Absolutely. And we are so excited to listen alongside of you as we continue on this journey around the world in 80 days and everything yet to come. Justice, we ask every guest this. This is a common theme throughout our life and work here in Virginia Beach area. And that's this common theme of community, because community plays such a big part in the way in which we live and operate our businesses. Exactly.
Everything. We owe everything.
Yeah, you're on the right train of thought with me here. How does community impact the way in which you conduct and operate your business and your production as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, community is everything. Whether you're selling a product, whether you're, trying to get your music out there, whatever, like you have to connect with people. You have to, find that something, unless you're like a big corporation that's already in business, even they're trying to connect with the communities, and that's a beautiful thing to see sometimes. But, it's all about, just getting people on board, man. If they can feel that you're authentic, genuine, and really care about what you're doing, they're going to get on board if it resonates with them, so I've always been a big, huge believer of just, trying to give back to the community and, enrich the community, because once the community grows, you're growing, it's not just about you, it's about everybody. So, whether it was, when I was working for Steve's Promo, I always tried to do like, coat drives, stuff like that, free ticket giveaways, all of that. And like, like I said, I'm just moving back to Virginia Beach. I was living in Baltimore. I lived in Richmond before that. I went to VCU for a couple years before I started pursuing music full time. Then I moved to Baltimore for a couple years. So it's really good to be back in my home city. And, my focus has been just, big on building community and just getting out there and just, meeting as many people as possible. And that's my other thing. One side note is like,
yeah,
there's something you can learn from everybody, man. I talk to every single person that I meet. It's just one of those things where you never know who somebody is. You never know what they're going through. You could make their whole week just by saying hello, and it's one of those things where, I talk to homeless people. I talk to millionaires. I talk to middle class people. It's everybody has something to offer. And I love connecting with people, man. It's just everybody has their own story. It goes back to it. Everybody's 1 in 8 billion, every single person, and everybody's different, and what they are is what's so special, and like I just love hearing different perspectives. I love hearing what people are thinking, what they're feeling, because you can learn from everything. You have to be a sponge in this life. You have to be a sponge and really take everything in. But yeah, I'm super excited to get back into the community. I was really huge in the surfing community. Obviously, I was the announcer for ECSC. I did Steel Pier Classic. Did a bunch of work with Surf for the Cure, Life Rolls On, some really cool organizations. Just huge on the stoke. Just spreading the love and just having a good time, man. Like, one thing I've learned, like I'm only 26, but I feel like I'm 54, but it's just one of those things where I just love experiencing things, man. Like there's so much to do. There's so much to see, shout out Smash Mouth,
yeah, exactly right. Somebody once told me.
That's what I'm saying, man. But yeah, I'm just super, excited with the path that Virginia Beach is on. I'm going to have the wave park right around the corner. Like I can't wait for that.
That's gonna be so much fun.
Oh my gosh, dude, you have no clue how stoked I am, because it's like, the running joke is Virginia has no waves, like Virginia is like the armpit of like the surfing community on the East Coast. But I've been so grateful, and just to live here, man. Like it's just been so fun. And all the new music festivals coming to town, Point Break, the Odyssey Festival coming in April, I believe, and then obviously Something in the Water. It's just a great thing for the city, man. And like also the airport getting the $700 million expansion, huge. Like that's going to be huge, because that's a huge thing. I don't know if you travel a lot or anybody out there travels a lot, that Norfolk Airport is not the best right now. The fees and the prices are a little bit higher, and there's always a connection. So I'm praying for good things to come out of this airport expansion, man.
Yeah, and they have some new airlines, I believe. We have another guest coming on in a couple weeks, so stay tuned for that, listeners. That is going to help with some travel hacking when you do airlines and looking to book trips as well.
Yeah, you got to connect me with him for sure. Let's go.
I will connect with her. Spoiler alert. Okay. We will have her. I have to look up her name here in a minute. But Justice, well said. Thank you for sharing that. And that's where this community of Discover Virginia Beach exists. It exists to give the green light to everyone looking to go out and discover the area. There's literally so much to do, and there's no reason why there should be a gatekeeper or, allowing your own personal beliefs to hold you back from going out to maybe put yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit and try something new and explore all that the area has to offer, from, the local DJ scene to the local music, restaurant, bar scene, and everything the oceanfront and also town center and throughout Virginia Beach has to offer. So
I'm just gonna go out and say it. I think Virginia Beach is the number one resort beach on the East Coast, unless we're talking about Miami, but that's a whole different league. We're not going to talk about
Florida's
that.
its own thing.
Yeah,
And
that's
we
its
can leave
own
that thing
country.
over there.
They got what they got going down there, but we're the best on the East Coast. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. Sorry, Ocean City. Sorry, Myrtle Beach. My bad. My bad.
I was talking to a destination market. I was on another podcast with destination marketing with Adam Stoker over there. We were talking. He partners with Myrtle Beach, and we were talking the differences. And I was like, you know what? It's almost the same, if not a little bit better, to come here if you're looking for something less touristy or resort filled. Because there aren't any resorts here. You still get a local feel, like in Sandbridge or by the bay, where there's
For
like
sure. And then Seashore State Park is literally one of the most beautiful places, man. I feel like that place is so slept on.
Yeah, Seashore State Park, or as some folks know it now, they changed the name to First Landing State Park.
Oh, First Landing, yeah. Sorry,
East
I'm an
Creek,
OG.
Little Creek Base, Fort Story. You know, you can kind of change the name around.
You know, there's so many beautiful places out there. Even Norfolk, man. Norfolk's on the come up. You know, and that's a huge piece because Norfolk and Virginia Beach work together, whether they like it or not, because the airport's there. People are looking into Norfolk if they have to fly into it. So it's like, you know, I think I was just talking to somebody about that the other day. Like, I think the airport came up into conversation, but. Yeah, man. I'm just really excited.
You know the history of Norfolk and Virginia Beach, right?
Well, let me see if I do.
Okay, so Norfolk actually started Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach was a sleepy old resort town just for all the one percenters to drive out there. And Norfolk said,
go to the Cavalier.
Yeah, go to the Cavalier. I mean, you talk about a rockin' show. I mean, you know, there were obviously some racial barriers that we needed to overcome during the time frame, but nevertheless, you know, they're having shows like every weekend, like dozens of, you know, the top show, you know, players of that time frame. And Norfolk said, hey, you know, we have a railroad system. We can just build it out there and take you out to the resort city and get more people coming. So Norfolk and the Norfolk Railroad actually funneled all of their development to Virginia Beach to help develop, you know, the Ferry Plantation House. We had Josh on the show, talked about that. If you're interested, listeners, but nevertheless, it's this common theme of community that I think a lot of people miss because of the zip codes and the city lines. But like Hampton Roads, Norfolk, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach area. Shout out to Portsmouth too. We had Portsmouth on the show.
7 cities versus the world, baby. Come on, man.
So much to offer. And with that said, I will say K Janae, that's Janea. I'll send you her profile if you want, Justice.
Yeah,
but
please.
She is going to be providing some travel hacking for us on an upcoming episode that I want to go ahead and get rolled out before the summer because if it's summertime and you're planning your trip, it's too late. That's why you need to join the Discover
It literally is.
Virginia Beach community and the Facebook for all things going on. Just check the link in the description below, along with Justice's info. Justice, this has been great. Thank you so much for being on the show. We have one last segment.
Let's do it. I'm here, carpet. Man. I'm down to roll whenever.
It's the red carpet, but there's a caveat because in order to get to the red carpet section for you to, you know, do your promo and shout out, you have to get through some quick rapid fire questions.
All right,
should you choose to accept?
Let's do it. Run it.
All righty then. First question for the rapid fire we have: what is one word to describe your personal journey so far?
Greatness.
What's one song that never fails to get you pumped up?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I'm probably going to go with any song off of Get Rich or Die Trying by 50 Cent. That's the best album of all time. I'm going to put it out there.
Fair enough. If you could collaborate and perform with any artist, past, present, who would it be and why?
Like even if they're deceased?
Even if they're deceased. You had time machine, you could go back.
MJ, Michael Jackson, man. Either that or James Brown, either one.
Most memorable fan interaction.
Oh my gosh. There was this couple that I met at my first Moonrise set. They not recently, I would say this is probably 2022 at this point. They had a baby, and they like brought me the ultrasound and like wanted me to sign it, and like sent me pictures of the baby like when it came, and like shout out to them, man. I hope all is well. I'm sending mad love out that way. That was like a really cool thing for me, man. It's like it's I think so highly of myself, but also at the same time it's like, it's still crazy for me to like, experience people like caring and like, really watching the journey and like showing love. So I never, I cherish my fan interactions, bro. Like, cause like I said, without the fans, there's nothing, man. There's nothing.
That sounds really special too. Just the significance of being a part of those life events.
Crazy.
And whatever comes next.
Yeah. Crazy.
Last one for you. You've already answered this question, so I'm going to tweak it. So the question was favorite superhero. So we'll change it and go least favorite superhero.
Least favorite superhero. Oh, man. I'm going to have to go with like... Hold on, I got to take a look at the collection real quick.
You're good. Yeah, you could go through the Mario route. You could go to... anti-heroes. Man.
I'm gonna have to go with that's so hard. I'm gonna have to go with Iron Man, because I'm sorry, fired. Like he's a cool character, but he built his suit to make him a superhero, and I love the authentic superheroes. That's my only caveat.
Well, I have a follow-up question here. So Batman built his own suit also. He doesn't have any powers.
But exactly. But the suit didn't give him powers. You know what I mean? He was Batman regardless, in my opinion. You know what I mean? He was still trying to do whatever was right with the suit or without the suit, in my opinion.
Well, that is definitely a question for debate. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Is Iron Man your favorite superhero or least favorite superhero? And does it count if you build your own suit? Yeah.
It's hard, man. It's hard for me to throw shade on anything, so that was a hard question.
That's the rapid fire question section. Justice, you made it to the end. This is your time to share any special events or any final messages you want to leave with the audience. The floor is all yours.
Just tune in on Instagram, man, at JusticeAddWater, pretty much on all socials. I'm newly streaming on Twitch. I'm about to hit affiliate status on Twitch, so catch me live on Twitch pretty much every week. I do a music review stream as well, called Send Slappers. We get some of the, upcoming producers and just show love, give feedback, and give tips to winning in this industry. So just add Water TV on Twitch or Send Slappers on Twitch, either one, and come by, hang, let's play some games, and keep spreading the love and doing what we love, baby. That's what it's all about.
Justice, thank you so much for being on the show today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, man. It was an absolute pleasure. I'm honored. Thank you. Virginia Beach versus the world, baby.
Thank you to our dedicated listeners for checking us out on another episode of Discover Virginia Beach Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. Definitely go ahead and hit the follow button at wherever you're at listening today. And we'd love to continue to send weekly conversations your way for all things to discover in Virginia Beach. Thank you, and we'll see you on another episode very soon.